Dan Bernstein Unfiltered. Unfiltered on 312 Sports.
I am the aforementioned Dan Bernstein. Works out well that way. That is Matt Abaticola, our
Hello.
executive producer. And I hope you had a wonderful weekend. It's a Bears game day, Bears game night, big day. Lots going on, lots of energy. You can drown your Cubs post-mortem sorrows in some Bears football. And believe me, on today's Forward Progress and tonight's Forward Progress, this is a 2 Forward Progress day on 312 Sports. So don't worry, we are going to have everything completely covered with pregame on Forward Progress and with postgame tonight. You don't want to miss it. So it's all going to be there for you. I'm very excited. The headline for me is the Bears have a chance to put themselves right in the middle of the NFC conversation.
They do. This is a bad NFL.
It's a giant blob.
It's a giant blob, yes.
So if you want, they wouldn't be orbiting the blob.
No.
But they would be in the upper crust. Maybe they're in the mantle right now. They're not with the Jets in the molten core, because I think the Jets and probably the Saints are sort of down there in the core. But if you start looking at where the Bears are in all this, I know their wins aren't great because Dallas is bad and the Raiders are bad.
But they're still wins.
Right. It doesn't matter.
Right.
The quality of win almost doesn't matter anymore.
It doesn't matter, period.
Right.
Because there's no special column for quality of win, and then there's a win. It's either a win or a loss.
So,
or in the Packers case, a tie.
Why not let the Bears have a little bit of belief if they have it, and go into this game tonight and see where they are. And if you, I'm telling you, they come out of this with a winning record. I'm not saying they're good. Don't mistake this as, hey, look, the Bears are really. I don't think so. I just think that this is a big blob year.
It's a very big blob year. The Chiefs with the win last night over the Lions, you really have to evaluate each game week by week now, and where the game was played plays a huge factor. The Chiefs made that game not even close, really.
No, it never really was.
Yeah, and that was surprising. I thought the Lions would show up despite being on the road in Kansas City, traditionally a hard place to play and compete and win games. I thought they'd show up better. I thought the Chiefs would have a chance to win that game, obviously. They're being at home. They're not a terrible team, but I didn't think it would go that direction.
Well, and Brian Branch needs to miss a game.
Yeah, he does. That was some of the most exciting parts of that football game was the fight after the game was over.
Yeah, it was like the handshake line at when it was hockey, chippy hockey games, and something bubbles up in the handshake line. You never see that in the NFL.
No,
because there's always that kind of rugby mentality of, all right, the game's over. We're all brothers. We're all
friends. We played college together.
We're all union members.
Right.
Together.
I was on this team with you here,
So let's exchange jerseys.
Yeah.
Our wives are playing mahjong together or whatever it is. So, but to see that happen.
I doubt that. But
why? Mahjong's hot now.
Oh, I know, but
I'm telling you.
I don't think it's hot in the circle of NFL wives.
You never know.
You're right. I never know.
Mahjong's back with a vengeance, baby.
You know what else I didn't know? I learned today that the Utah Hockey Club is called the Mammoth. I learned that today, so it's new for me to learn.
Yeah,
it's exciting.
They're a singular mammoth.
Yes, there's just one.
That's what's so weird. They're not the mammoths.
No, because that's too hard to say.
The mammoths.
They're the mammoth.
Right. So is it like Voltron?
Well,
they all make up one part of the giant mammoth?
I wasn't sure if it was something really large or if it was the old animal.
It is. It's
okay.
both. It was
but
really
no, it's
large.
the animal.
And
No,
the
I
animal
know.
was
I thought like,
what'd you think? These teeny little things that happen to be called mammoths?
No, like the
You step
Utah
on 'em?
Mammoth buildings. The Utah, I don't know if it was like a large things.
No, I think there are mammoth fossils, not to be confused with a mastodon.
Right, not a mastodon.
They're both
but a mammoth.
woolly.
Right.
They're both woolly.
The picture of the animals on the jersey, so I assume that they're the mammoth animal and not
Right.
like something large.
They're
which
not just
is
the
large
concept of
large
size.
things. Right, that's right. That's a possibility.
I guess.
Very abstract
Yeah, I get it, but I think they're one mammoth.
They are. They're our one mammoth is we're one nation.
Under God. The mammoth
invisible.
Invisible. Not indivisible, but invisible. So, yeah, we're going to get to all the... If you are hungry hippos for Bears, we're going to have
Forward
that
Progress.
all for you on Forward Progress. Now, here's what the Cubs need. The Cubs need velocity from their bullpen.
Yep.
And they need guys that can hit velocity from other teams' bullpens. That's pretty much it right here. So let me make it simple. I thought Craig Counsell did a really good job of using Daniel Palencia and understanding, as we said, going into the playoffs, that, and this is the regular season too, sometimes the biggest out in a game is ahead of what you think are the critical innings. The innings will tell you what's critical. And in a 3-1 game, sometimes your starter has to come out in the fourth or the fifth or in a playoff game, sometimes the third. And Palencia was ready. I did think that both managers were a little late in getting some guys warm in the last game. But here's what you need if you want to win a World Series. Everybody in your bullpen's got to be Palencia. You can't just have one guy who you bring in to get that key out, because this is something that my friend Dave brought up when we were kids. He said, why doesn't every team have 9 closers? This is 1981 or 82.
It's not a bad idea.
This is what he said. He said, if the closer's the guy that you can always bring in and he gets those 3 outs and he blows everybody away, why doesn't every team just have 9 closers and use them all the time? And that's essentially, he was right. It took him 35 years to be right, but he was right, because that's what it is now. It's all outs, it's all arms, you starter, reliever, whatever it is, especially when it matters most in the playoffs. You need more Palencias. You can't just have one special guy that throws 100. You need everybody throwing 100. Everybody misses bats. Bring her in. Bring in Mrs. Bats.
Yes.
Here she is. That's my favorite reliever, Mrs. Bats. She comes in. She sets down her purse. She sets down her umbrella. She puts out her smoke, and she walks out there and starts throwing 106. So sign her. Sign Mrs. Bats. Because that's what you need. You can't just have one guy that did every next guy on all these teams. Everybody comes in doing that. And the Cubs have to adjust to that. And while Nico Horner is a great contact guy, ideally, Kyle Tucker, your contact people also have power. So let them lick their wounds a little bit. Let them get sad. And they were sad. They really were. And it's okay. It's all right to be sad, because they had a nice year. It's a good year.
No, they had a great year. They had a great year, and they just it's the difference of, now we've talked about getting into the playoffs. All you have to do is get in. Get in. Anyone has a chance to win.
Yep.
Now, ideally, you don't want to play the wild card round. That makes a huge difference. I mean, those extra 3 games of rest and time would have been very helpful to the Cubs getting themselves in order. It didn't help that you lost Justin Steele for the year. It didn't help that you lost Cade Horton late in the year. That would have been a difference maker as far as the Cubs are concerned in the Padres and the Brewer series. Nico Horner hit 450 in the NLDS. He's the only guy to get over 250.
But did he hit it over the fence?
He did not.
Right.
He did not. But you don't ask him to hit it over the fence.
No, but I would like
the guys
somebody...
that you asked to hit over the fence didn't hit the ball over the fence. They didn't hit the ball. I mean, that's the whole issue right there. That's the whole problem.
Hit velocity.
And talking with Craig Counsell after the game, he met with the media, obviously, and this is what Craig had to say to start his media session after Game 5 of the NLDS.
It's a very good baseball team, and a team that, that deserves and earned their way for the right to go to the World Series. So that's a good baseball team. I mean, I'm disappointed. I'm sad. I think this team did a lot to honor the Chicago Cub uniform, and in the big picture, that's how I feel. But I'm what did we do wrong tonight? That's kind of what you're stuck on, and why couldn't we get anything going? So it's hard to get past that right now.
It's got to suck for him,
yeah,
especially because he's endured all of this vitriol. And I remember talking to him in the Cubs offices the day he was named as Cubs manager, and he was close to tears discussing the reaction from Milwaukee fans and Wisconsin people, and just how aggressively angry they were at him for leaving, and that has not abated. He took that very personally. He said he didn't really see it coming. And man, I have to say also, before we get to some more Counsell comments, I love the petty. I love the fact that they flew an L flag in their team photo.
Yeah, and if you
It's
don't like
hilarious.
it, right? If you don't like it, just win.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's how dare they do something like that? They kicked your ass. They kicked your ass, and if you really look at what's gone on here, Council leaving for more money, leaving for the big city, and basically it was clear when the Cubs hired him, it's like, oh, here you were in Milwaukee doing more with less. Well, we don't want to spend any money here. Maybe you come here and do more with, even though we're a big market and have the money, we'd prefer not to spend it. So we'd rather spend the money on you. So now we'll put those Brewers in their place.
Right.
And they're still kicking your ass with your former bench coach, your best friend, your father figure, your former college coach, managing them. And he's adorable, by the way. You gotta love Pat Murphy. There's really very little not to like about the Brewers. And for them to then say, there you go, take this L. Take this with you. How can you not think that's hilarious? If you're bruised by that somehow as a fan, put that pressure on Tom Ricketts. Don't get mad at the Brewers. Getting mad at the Brewers is a waste of time. If you don't like that, you're angry about that, tell them to spend more money.
Yeah, that's really what it comes down to. You can't. I mean, if you don't like it, then win. Don't lose.
I think
if you don't lose, they can't fly the L banner flag. And
I think it's great for the rival. I love the rivalry.
It's all over the parking lot. It's it's at their games, and they want to do it great. They earned that right to shit on you because they beat you in 5 games.
This is a rivalry.
Yeah,
and it
100%.
it is a good one, and it's entirely fun, and I think most fans like it.
And when they spend half the money the Cubs do, I have to look at the payroll. Great. And they've won the division now 3 years in a row.
They're a small market.
They were the first team in the playoffs in the NL the last 2 years. So go and beat them.
And embrace the fact that they'll embrace the little brother thing, the second city syndrome. Go ahead, and they're doing it. They're having fun with it. I hope Cubs fans have fun with it because it's fun.
But that's the difference in the fact that the Cubs hosted the Padres. They won that series because they had all 3 games at Wrigley. The Brewers won the 3 at home. They lost 2 on the road. That's how it works out. You had to win one on the road. You couldn't do it. Your bats just went so cold and dead. Except for Seiya Suzuki, Nico Horner, Michael Busch. Outside of that, didn't do what they needed to do. And we talk about when do big innings come in playoff games. On Game 5, it was the 6th inning. You had 2 guys on with your 3, 4, 5 hitters up with no outs.
That's it.
And that was the ball game right there. And you couldn't do anything.
That Kyle Tucker strikeout, that the last you see of him at the plate, I don't know, did he have another bat later? But the one that's going to resonate with you when he's wherever next year,
I think
with the Dodgers or wherever he goes next year.
But I mean, who's going to, and what are they going to pay him?
Right. If he's not healthy, he still wasn't out in the field.
I'm not giving him $400 million.
I'm going to make maybe a unique contract. It's not going to be. You remember when the Frank Thomas diminished skills clause contract came out? This could be a test case of a deal where there's all sorts of gradations and incentives in there for health.
But Craig Counsell talked about the lack of base running. Here's the question after Game 5 NLDS.
Craig, in general, it seemed like you guys didn't put a lot of pressure on there, but then in the 6th inning, it seemed like the game. You had your key guys up with 2 men on and no outs and couldn't get the big hit. It seemed like that was a theme, not getting the big hit in general this series.
Yeah, I mean, we had 6 base runners tonight, so if you take Seiya's homer and then those 2, that's half of our base runners. So that was the inning, and that was the inning with the middle of the lineup up. Ashby made a pretty darn good pitch, 3-2 to Tucker. Right, it looked like a right down and away on the corner. It was a nasty pitch. Seiya had a good at bat against Patrick for sure. Had good at bats all night. Seiya did, and then they're kind of they got out of it essentially. They had a chance to get out of it. But that I agree. I mean, that's really the only inning you could talk about. We just didn't do much. We had 6 base runners. You're going to have to hit homers to have any runs scoring in scenarios like that. So they pitched very well. I mean, they pitched super well, and we didn't. The only inning that we really disrupted maybe the plan was the 6th, but they just the rest of the game they did a heck of a job.
Yeah, and not maybe. That was the only inning. That was it. And then, you know what? I was encouraged as the game was going through that they were hitting the ball, that they weren't chasing as badly as they had in games 1 and 2, because they were chasing all over the strike zone games 1 and 2. They weren't chasing as bad. There was a couple of bad approaches, Happ and Tucker, a couple swings that were just, Pete Crow Armstrong.
Well, yeah, Happ had the non-swing too.
Then what are you waiting on? What are you waiting for?
Don't guess.
Like, it's close enough. Swing the bat. But they weren't chasing as badly as the series went through, and they had some good hard hits. But they were just hitting, as he put it another time, just what do you call them? Atom balls. Right at him. And that's what happened.
Yeah, it's what happens with a well-positioned defense too.
Yeah.
It's what happens when
your guy
scouted.
Man, I think, what did he have, 7 or 8 putouts in game 5?
A really good baseball player.
Yeah, he's super annoying.
I know, but he's
super annoying.
He is a really good baseball player. They have so many guys like that. Durbin is like that. Meanwhile, do you know Durbin has an economics degree from Washington?
You mentioned that the other day. Yeah, I didn't.
Like, how many baseball?
I didn't know that until you said it.
I believe Kyle Hendricks is an econ degree from Dartmouth, right?
I believe that's definitely Dartmouth, and I think it's econ. Yeah,
right. And then, but Wash U St. Louis is as far as difficulty to get in is at or above Dartmouth.
Yeah,
like that's a ridiculously hard school to get into.
So he's smart and an annoying baseball player.
And he doesn't look that smart when you look at him, but he apparently is. He's got that baseball-y thing going on. But yeah,
Craig, kind of on going off that, like if you look at the guys who produced tonight, it was Nico, Seiya, and Bush. And the rest of the lineup struggled. Do you put that more on the pitching, or is it some of the approaches and some of the just kind of results that happen?
Look, we faced, this team is loaded with very good pitching. It's certainly a strength of the team, and it's why they won so many games. And the Mizorowski, got through got 4 innings and got 12 outs for him, and that, put the game in pretty good order for them. They pitched well. They pitched well. We took some good swings off Uribe, just kind of atom balls. But they pitched well.
They've got more guys than you have.
Yeah.
They've got more material players than you have, and you've got to do something about that. You need more Palencias. Everybody should be a high leverage pitcher. Now the good news is, I think the Cubs' core is in decent shape, even if Tucker walks, which he likely will, which is probably kind of more okay than you thought. And all Tom Ricketts needs is like the flimsiest excuse. Now it's easy for him to say, well, I can't give that kind of money to somebody I can't trust. It's all written for him.
Oh, no, I don't want them to give him a 6, 7, 8-year deal.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
Now, in Horner and PCA, a couple more years of prime Suzuki, and who's going to be a Cy Young candidate to start the year in Cade Horton, you're looking at a pretty decent younger core. And let's not forget Miguel Amaya.
All right, so here's what you have right now. You have 7 players under contract for a payroll of just under $125 million. All in, so total payroll. That's contracts. It's arbitration eligible.
Okay.
Any options? All in, they're at $198.9. So just under $200 million.
Okay. For
a payroll. Carson Kelly is in the final year of final year of a deal at $5 million.
That's next year, his final year
for 2026.
Okay.
Miguel Amaya.
If there's not going to be baseball next year, so
for 2026, Miguel Amaya, his projected salary is $820,000. Michael Bush, $820,000. Nico Horner is in the final year of a deal at $12 million. Dansby Swanson, he's being paid a lot of money through 2029. Next year, it's $28 million. Then it goes 27, then it goes 26. That's a lot of money for a guy who 118, 211, 175, 387 OPS. He struck out 9 times in 17 at-bats.
Yeah, but he was great with the glove.
But I need more than that, though, for $28 million. I need more than a glove. Matt Shaw was in there because of his glove. He makes $820,000 next year. He was in there for his glove. So I need more than that for a glove. That's too much. Matt Shaw, $820,000 next year. Ian Happ, final year of a deal, $19 million.
I think I might move Happ.
I would, if there's something out there for him, for sure. I would too.
I might move Happ.
Pete Crow, $820,000. Seiya Suzuki, $19 million. Then he's arbitration eligible in 2027. Justin Seal, arbitration eligible. Matthew Boyd, $17 million next year. Kate Horton, $820,000. Jameson Taillon in a final year of a deal, $18 million next year. Colin Ray, there's a $6 million club option, $750 buyout. Andrew Kittredge, $9 million club option, $1 million buyout. Keegan Thompson, arbitration eligible.
I forgot about him.
Javier Assad, Ben Brown, Tyson Miller, Jordan Wicks, Daniel Palencia, Porter Hodge, Kevin Alcantara, all projected $820,000 next year.
Okay. Yeah, I think that they've got an opportunity. If you can flip Hap for a high leverage bullpen arm, or high leverage arm, young, I'd think about that. I'd have your pro personnel people start looking around some of these more loaded organizations and see who's blocked. But I think the Cubs are going to be good next year.
Well, for me, it's really not that difficult. I mean, you have Miguel Amaya. Hopefully, he can stay healthy as a young catcher making no money. Carson Kelly, what's he going to do next year?
I think you probably
play above his average.
I think you got his best year.
I'm pretty sure you did. Nico Horner is a guy that you're gonna sign to a new contract. His final year next year at $12 million. So Nico, Pete Crow Armstrong, Miguel Amaya,
Shaw, Suzuki,
Cade Horton, Suzuki,
Bush.
Shaw, Bush. Those are guys that you're not looking at.
Yeah.
Everyone else,
that's solid.
Yeah, everyone else is up there. You got something good for Ian Happ, you got to consider it.
I wanted to note this, too, when it comes to watching some of these other games right now. And usually when we have this thing, when in Chicago, when our team is out of it, whoever it may be, we tend to completely ignore the rest of the playoffs in the World Series. Depending on what the Bears are doing, if people are going to start in with the Bulls and the Hawks and those sort of niche fandoms will get excited about, I'm a big NBA guy. I'm looking forward to the NBA. I know the hockey people are really excited about hockey and a new scrappy Blackhawks team. But I did watch some baseball last night because I was up very late. I watched all 15 innings of the Seattle.
I went to bed after 14. I was too tired.
The pitching was just, and watching Scooble and everything. And Adam Amin was going absolutely apeshit. It was just, it was great.
I love, oh my God, the old Sox catcher.
AJ was awesome.
Yeah. AJ's great, but he always seems so bothered to be there.
I love it.
He always seems like,
I know, he's annoying.
Fuck! Gonna be here again?
No, he's
I love it.
He's found a great little vibe with Wainwright. And Wainwright's the more earnest broadcaster, and AJ's he gives some sandpaper to that booth. That's a fun booth. You compare that to the weirdos on their number one team. It's just insufferable. This is my problem. I can't do the Smoltz. Smoltz makes it very hard for me to consume a lot of postseason baseball because it's just. And I find Joe Davis to be professional but weird and sort of not human. He doesn't seem like a real dude.
Yeah, it seems like, and I think this goes for a lot of the baseball play-by-play guys, that there's just a code to follow, and you follow that code and sound this way.
No, but most guys are real. Kevin Burkhardt.
Yeah, I know, but I mean,
Brian
even
Anderson. They're real. Amin's real.
Alex Faust and Ron Darling did Game 5, and Darling doesn't take away, he doesn't add anything, and Faust just sounds like a guy doing a baseball game, which it's fine. But Darling did have one John Smoltz moment when he talked about, I think the Brewers had 6 or 7 2-out hits at this point. And Darling said, the Brewers are the hardest team to get out in baseball, 1, 2, 3. Now, I'd like to follow that up.
I would just look at what are the on-base percentages,
but
you can actually know.
I just want to follow up with that. Where is are they number one in baseball with the least amount of 1, 2, 3 innings?
Or did you make that up?
Or is that just what you feel right now because they just had their 6th two-out hit?
Did you make that up?
So it was a John Smoltz moment.
That was. Don't make things up when the information is available to you.
It can be found.
Yes. So for those of us of a certain age, it's weird seeing the Mariners against the Blue Jays. Because when I was 8 years old, those were the weird teams. When you wake up one day and there are 2 new teams. In 1977, Here are the Mariners. Here are the Blue Jays. What? And the team, and they have an expansion draft, and they have all these. You get your baseball cards, and there's all these weird players, and you look at the back of the card because the weird old guys like Ron Fairley, who, by the way, really good player, Ron Fairley. Bob Baylor, when the baseball card has the tiny, tiny, tiny font on the back to fit in all the stats, like, oh, this guy's old, and you just don't know who people are, and then you're like, oh, I guess this Rupert Jones is pretty good on the Mariners, and I guess this, I don't know, Ron Fairley used to be pretty good, and Jesse Jefferson or whoever it is. So these are the weird teams, and now they're, one of these teams is going to go to the World Series. And with Toronto, they kind of got that out of the way in the Joe Carter years and all of that stuff, but. It's kind of cool. I never thought I'd see the day.
No, it is cool. And I didn't watch yesterday. I was monitoring the game on my phone because it was all. I watched so much football yesterday. I watched from the early game all the way through Chiefs Lions. So
I watched a lot of football too, including the Cats.
Go Cats!
I'm sorry. It was bad luck. I shouldn't come to Libertyville Cats games.
No, I'm glad you did. It was fun to have you there. Natalie just had a delightful time hanging out and chatting with you. So. No, I was glad that you were there. You got to experience a little bit of my football world, which
sideline,
which is
stalking. You got a good look, man. I have to say, you look very coachy.
I try.
You look super coachy. You've got all of the little moves down. And she was telling me that there was a time when you would be like slamming the clipboard or throwing like you've got that controlled emotion, but you can tell what's going on underneath.
Yeah.
I even like the way you're working over the officials a little bit by the first names. You say, well, you got so-and-so on the other side of the field. He hasn't called a penalty all year. You got to call what you see.
Yeah.
You see it, you got to call it.
Oh, you heard that?
You know your partner's not going to call it. Oh, yeah. That was my favorite part of the game was watching you coach.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, because the guy across the field, he does our games, and he's at the second one this year. Hasn't pulled a flag.
He hasn't thrown one all year.
He hasn't.
You saw it. You throw it.
Like you can't referee 72 minutes of 12U football and not throw one flag. Like, come on, give me a fucking break.
Yeah, but it was. I really enjoyed myself.
That was fun. I'm glad you came out. You should have got a cheeseburger though.
I know. Everybody
burgers
says
are good.
The
at
Butler burgers are good. I got to check them out.
Yeah, it was a tough game though. The boys played really well against a really good football program in Antioch. They're always really good. And again, size makes a big difference.
Do you think?
I mean, their offensive line was twice the size of my
the
defensive
guy was
line.
like 6'2".
That kid had a mustache, dude.
But Craggy.
He was almost my height. I'm 6'2", and he was 127 pounds, and he was 12 years old.
All right, quick trivia question. Back to baseball real quick. See if you know this. There is one player who has played
Justin Turner,
who has played for all four. I want to look this up just to make sure here. This is a former Cub. I'm going to give you the that's sort of the trick for this.
Jamie Moyer.
Stop. The only guy that has played for all four teams that remain. This guy has played for the Dodgers, the Brewers,
the Dodgers,
the Blue Jays, and the Mariners. And he's also played for the Cubs and several other teams. He played for the Cubs for a long time, actually, from 2005 to 2008. He was
Ted Lilly.
No. Can you name him?
Lilly was 07.
A well-traveled professional baseball player, very good at his job. Not a great player, but he had some valuable skills to a major league team. He's the only guy who has been a Dodger, a Brewer, a Blue Jay, and a Mariner.
The only guy ever.
Yep. He was also a coach for the Cubs 2015, 2016, 2017.
Oh, yeah. I know who it is. It's he was real grindy. Oh, shoot. Was he the first base coach? No?
I don't not exactly.
Oh.
He was quality assurance coach.
Okay.
He assured the quality.
He made sure the quality was
and they won the World Series.
Assured.
So he was great at his job. He assured their quality when they won the World Series. He's got a ring.
Yeah. God.
He
What's his name?
his name would translate in English to Hank White. Henry
Yeah,
Blanco.
Henry Blanco.
Henry Blanco is the answer to that trivia question. Other question from last night. Did you see Butt Plug Guy?
I did not, and it's on the board, and I'm wondering what is Butt Plug Guy.
So when I get in early on Mondays and Fridays when I do the Sherman and Tingle at 8:15, and I had fun. I always have fun with them. So you should check out 97.1 FM, The Drive, Chicago's classic rock. So I'm with those guys, and we were talking about off the air. I was talking about that, but I go in and I write this down. And some stuff for DBU on our whiteboard. We have a literal whiteboard right here. And I wrote down Butt Plug Guy. So you didn't notice until I said, did you see Butt Plug Guy?
Well,
you said no, and I said I wrote it on the board.
I couldn't read Butt Plug. It didn't look like Butt Plug.
What does it look like?
I don't know, but I didn't read Butt Plug.
To me, that looks exactly like Butt Plug.
Well, now it does that you've said it, but when I
Yes.
looked at it, I was like, something guy. I'm like,
Okay.
all right.
So, the Cal Raleigh is known as the Big Dumper.
Yes.
Because he has a big dumper. It's really a simple nickname. And everybody's embraced the nickname because Cal Raleigh's really good. I love watching him hit because he is an old-fashioned slugger. Great defensive player, too, despite the pass ball the other night. And they've had fun with the nickname. Apparently, is it his mother that doesn't like the nickname? But he comes by the nickname. It's a real nickname. It's not something that was imposed upon him by a PR department. It's not something that a sponsor made up as part of a shoe deal. It's his real nickname because he has a giant ass, and they call him Big Dumper. So there was a fan in the first row in Toronto who, before Raleigh's at bat, he takes off a jacket to reveal a white T-shirt with a giant black image of a butt plug on his shirt. Now, at first, I will admit, I thought it was a lava lamp. I thought, why is there a lava lamp? And it had a number 29 in it. So it's a white 29 in a black butt plug.
Okay.
And then I realized,
not a lava lamp.
Or if it is a lava lamp, good luck to you.
If you wanted to, you could try.
Say, right?
Yeah.
Hey,
I'd leave it unplugged.
I was just going to say, knowing the stories, anybody who knows anybody that works in an emergency room, it wouldn't surprise me. I was just trying to fix my lava lamp naked, and I slipped. I don't know what happened. I always work on my lava lamp naked. I don't know. I slipped. So he takes up, and he's wearing. So he's now Butt Plug Guy. Cal Raleigh responds by hitting a home run. And in the video, you can see this guy's really proud of himself. He's like, he knew the moment was coming. And he's there, and he's like, look at me. Milwaukee's got front row Amy.
Yeah.
That we now know is a thing, and she's famous for her giant things.
Yeah.
And this guy when you make the decision you're going to be Butt Plug Guy,
you got to own it.
And Raleigh hits it, and he knew it, and Butt Plug Guy knew it, and he just said, "Oh well, okay." And his reaction was it evinced a clear understanding that it was probably a bad time to be Butt Plug Guy. But congratulations to him. I
as opposed to the good times that there are to be.
Who knows?
Butt Plug Guy.
You never know. Don't pretend you're embarrassed to say it.
I'm not.
Yeah, you are.
I'm not embarrassed.
Yeah, you are. You're looking down on me.
I'm not looking down on you. I'm not. I swear.
Yes,
I promise I'm not.
Okay, I'm glad you brought up this. Now we're going to get
No,
back.
I missed it. I didn't see Butt Plug Guy. I didn't watch the game. I was monitoring on my phone. I watched all football.
I know. You've been very, very football-y, and that's okay because there was a lot. I was listening when I did a lot of driving this weekend. I had errands to run. I had a vacuum cleaner to buy. I had my wife to murder and Gilda to blame for it. I'm swamped. So I was listening to the Sirius XM NFL Whip Around.
Okay.
Is that Brendan McCaffrey who produces that? Is that Baldy McGrindy?
It could be, yeah.
They do a really nice job. They do a really nice job.
They better do a nice job.
And what I like is that they don't, even if they say, let's go out to Indianapolis, and they'll get off of it in an instant.
Yeah.
They don't feel that, like, we're there, we got to give it a little due and take in this. They're like, nope, we're leaving there. We're going over here because this matters more. And there's a sounder, and they'll go. It's the equivalent of Red Zone.
Yeah.
But it's
done well.
And you hear
not like locally.
And you love hearing the local radio play-by-play guys too. Hear the voice of a Brad Sham or a Gene Deckerhoff or all of these. You hear them on the highlights. I know that voice. And you hear all these old concussed color guys, who are just there like, well, I think over a land stunt. And then you're trying to figure, who is that? Who's that guy? And it's some rando dude that was there for 4 years that has some local business and some ties to the team. But I was enjoying listening to the descriptions of all this NFL football. The Colts, man. I don't.
Yeah, I know. They just keep winning. If the playoffs were to start today, the Colts would be the number 1 seed.
I know.
Isn't that crazy?
It is.
It's just what a massive blob of NFL season that we're in, and I'm looking forward to getting into some NFL talk and talking about my guy in Ford Progress.
He made them better.
He did make them better.
He made them better.
That's my guy.
They had a handful of plays, but at least he can avoid the first guy still sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes he can.
Yeah.
But I knew that was going to be too big of a spread for Green Bay to cover. 14.5 they were giving
Let's
the
not forget,
Bengals.
we got DBU picks coming up in this episode.
We do.
We have DBU, and I'm 3 in a row now.
Yeah, you're on fire.
I am 3 in a row. I don't take a lot of high risk picks, but when I get a feeling, I'll give you a feeling, and I've got one for tonight.
I went really high risk in my parlay that I gave people on Friday because I had the Jets plus 7.5, the Browns plus 6, the Bengals plus 14.5. 2 of the 3 came in. Jets lost 11-13 in a really exciting game.
13-11.
13-11, yeah, in London. Jets had 11. Broncos at 13.
But you don't lose 11-13.
But the Jets only scored 11. So
I know.
I gave my team score first. That's what it was.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Browns lost 9-23. And then the Bengals lost 18-27. But 2 of those 3 hit though for me because of Frankenstein's monster. He could still throw touchdowns, man.
And thank you too. You know that I appreciate the fact that you say Frankenstein's monster and not Frankenstein
because Frankenstein was the guy who made him.
Right.
He's Frankenstein's monster. He's not Frankenstein.
Right. He's not Frankenstein. Right. Even though his last name might be for like Social Security purposes.
Right, or his driver's license.
Right, I was going to say. It's not
going to say Frankenstein's monster.
He needs a name.
Right.
I don't know if he has a first name, like they named him Larry Frankenstein or something, but I appreciate that.
Well,
it's the monster.
I knew you would.
Especially Halloween season, because we let people get away with dumb stuff. Don't make people dumber. Don't tell people that character is Frankenstein.
It's Frankenstein's monster.
Correct.
I saw the preview again for The Bride, the movie coming out in March. I want to see it. I think it's going to be good.
I do too.
We went and saw. I dragged Natalie to the Smashing Machine.
Yeah,
we went and saw it Friday. It was okay. It was okay. The best way I could describe it to you, I was trying to think, how can I describe it to Bernstein? It's like there's a swimming pool, all right? And the storyline walked up to the swimming pool and like put its big toe in. And then it pulled it out. And then it put its foot in and went about halfway and then pulled it out right away. And that was all it ever did. It got there.
No, I get it.
It got there a couple times and then it's like it just didn't go far enough. And there was like 3 main relationships. It was The Rock with himself. Mm-hmm. Like the journey that he went on to become a healthier, better person because he was a drug addict and alcoholic and had to get his life fixed. The second one was the relationship with his girlfriend who became his wife, Emily Blunt. And that was a really uncomfortable type scenes with them at times. And then the third was his relationship with his best friend in the UFC and how he and they really brought the pride fighting from Japan and created what is the UFC. And it never really developed that story. It never really developed any one of those 3 stories like how you wanted to.
So it wasn't The Rock's Oscar turn as
well. But he was so good in it though, because then what got me on it was the 10 or 11 minute standing ovation he got at the Venice Film Festival, or it might have been a different film festival, but he got and I was like, all right. And then even seeing the trailer for it, it was like this is something totally out of what we normally see him do. Here's what's really weird: about halfway through the movie, the character shaves his head.
Okay.
So when The Rock has got hair,
So he became The Rock.
but you can't tell that it's The Rock when he has hair. It's like, oh my god, and the
Who is
and
that?
it's like really good.
Okay. Oh, you're being serious.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I'm serious. And then when he shaved his head in the movie, because the real life character shaves his head eventually, he becomes The Rock again all of a sudden, and he even sounds like The Rock, and it looks like The Rock, and it took me away from the character and the acting that he was portraying as Mark Kerr. So it was I would watch it at home. It's been just in the box office. I think it's open $6 million, which is the lowest ever for a Dwayne Johnson film.
Smashing machine.
But it had its moments. It took you to a certain point and then just backed away from it. So if you like The Rock, I would watch it at home. Wait for it to come out on one of the streaming channels and watch it. So
sayonara to James Franklin of Penn State University.
Told you a couple weeks ago.
Don't lose to Northwestern. Do not lose to Northwestern at home. He lost to Northwestern at home.
I told you a couple weeks ago that I talked to my buddy, his kids down there at school, and the boosters were circling the wagons, man. They were ready to get him out of town.
60 mildo.
Yeah. They got it.
Well, everybody's got it.
Yeah, that's nothing.
That's why when they're telling you about all these sports that have to go, well, we can't have a fencing team or we can't have a women's volleyball team, they're lying. Of course they can.
Yeah, of course
they just
they
don't
can.
want one because it doesn't make money.
It doesn't make money like football and basketball.
Right, but they can
That's
cut these Jimbo Fisher and James Franklin size buyouts. Of course they have the money, and don't let them tell you otherwise. So here's also what I think did James Franklin in. And some of this is not really his fault. James Franklin is an immensely charismatic guy. I think if he wants, he's going to be a tremendous broadcaster.
Yeah, and so someone will scoop him up quickly.
I think he's going to be awesome at it if he wants to do that. And he can have a cushy job for the rest of his life. He could be a main guy. I think James Franklin could be eventually a number one in-game guy, a number one panel guy. He could be that good. He is a motivator and a recruiter. The problem with college football is you don't really need to have a motivator recruiter as much as you used to because of money. You recruit with a big bag of money. Want somebody at your school? Pay them. That's how it works. It still matters to sit at the coffee table or the kitchen table with mama and papa, but it doesn't matter like it used to. All things being equal, you'd much prefer a politician / recruiter, small p politician. Don't confuse that. Somebody who has those skills. And also, when it comes to motivation, they're all mercenaries on the good teams. They're all transfers. They're just getting ready to go to the NFL. It is much more important in college football to have a tactician. You want somebody who your GM's going to pay all these guys. You closed all these sales. You've got everybody here. Now, coach them up and go win. You want the balance, but I'm much more tilted in that balance toward the side of tactician. I want a college football guy who is going to, take mine and beat yours and take yours and beat mine. Did I say that right?
Yes.
That I want that guy. That is absolutely the most important thing right now is coach him up to win that game. Because whether it's a father figure or whether it's the guy who can say, you can trust your son with me and come for 4 years. They're not here for 4 years. It's hard to build those relationships and be the old-fashioned motivator, recruiter guy, personality guy. Be an X and O guy. Have a system that wins. And maybe Penn State's going to do that. At least have your staff built that way, where maybe you have that guy, and he better have awesome assistants who are the tacticians, and you're going to lose them fast if they are. Because I do think that there is a bit of a lesson here in how quickly the James Franklin thing crumbled in this new era. 12 years is a long run.
Yeah, it is.
It's a hell of a run. And especially picking up the pieces of all the Paterno shit that happened there after Bill O'Brien. And finally, that's starting to go away. All of the Anthony Lubrano stuff and everything that I spent too much of my life dealing with those people. internally, and I mean, it dominated my professional existence for a long time, trying to ferret out everything that was going on at that horrible hive of evil. And I think they've done an okay job cleaning some of it up. But good luck to whoever's next. You should win there. You should be in the discussion for a national championship every year. And they were last year. They aren't this year. And James Franklin's run has come to an end. But I do think that there's something to be learned about what's happening in college football.
Did you ever think there'd be a time when the second top ranked Big Ten team is Indiana in football?
They deserve every bit of it.
Yeah, oh, absolutely they do.
Not a fluke.
Oh, no, not at all a fluke. But they're in the AP 25. They're number 3 now. Biggest jump this week, moving up 4 spots. Ohio State, obviously, number 1.
How long does Kurt Signetti stay there? That's the question. Is that his destination?
You know, I'll be honest with you. What I've read about him and learned about him, and his father was a coach, and then his development from leaving Alabama and leaving, Division I football to get a head coaching job. He was turning 50, wanted a head coaching job, didn't want to be an assistant anymore. I'll be honest with you. It would not surprise me if he stayed at Indiana for a very long time.
He seems like a real one.
He seems like that kind of guy.
He's a hell of a coach, man.
Yeah. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, and so
Indiana is ranked number 3 in football.
I know that they're looking at huge names there, but I will tell you the guy who could go to Penn State and is ready for a major job and is going to get a major job next year is the current Tulane head coach, John Summerall.
Really?
John Summerall is. It wouldn't surprise me to see him coach in the NFL.
Well,
in the future.
I would think that. Knowing Bill Belichick wants out in UNC, I would give him a call for Penn State.
I thought you were going to say give Summerall a call for Carolina,
No.
and he was already apparently brought up.
Well, was he really?
As a possibility, yeah. So he's in that next group. If Signetti's staying put, keep your eye. I think Summerall, one way or another, is done at Tulane.
I mean, Penn State could be like, hey, we've overcome everything we dealt with the Paterno stuff. Things are heading the right direction. Let's fuck it all up. Let's call Bill Belichick. Let's bring him in.
I am blaming Adam Amin, by the way, for the fact that I almost didn't wake up for the Chicago window guys on Sunday morning. I knew that Russ's guy Kaleem was coming to my house to
blame
do
Adam Amin. You stayed up too late watching baseball.
I'm blaming Adam Amin.
That is not fair.
Because Adam Amin, I meant to text him. He had a great night. He kept finding extra reserves of energy as everyone else were falling asleep. I had my huge dinner. I had a giant dessert. I ate half a pecan praline pie.
How many candy bars?
I didn't do candy bars.
Okay.
I did a pecan praline pie Friday night. I did candy bars Saturday night. Last night I did a whole thing. I did a whole bag of Matt's cookies. You know Matt's from Wheeling?
Yeah.
I just got a craving for Matt's cookies, and I did the chocolate chip cookies. They're as good as ever. And I blame Adam Amin. I was up all night. He was great. The booth was great. And he kept finding all of this energy that kept matching the moment. He had to have been so tired, like they missed their flight, and then he had to go to an NFL game. And Zoe's knocking on the door. Dad? There's somebody here says about the windows. Oh, yeah. It's Russ's guy. And he was texting me again. I wasn't getting the text. I was sleeping. And I come downstairs.
Oh, she was knocking on your bedroom door.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you had her out.
No.
Let her out for the night. Let me in.
Dad, somebody says it's windows. He's here for windows. So, yeah. So, thank you. And he said he was driving for like 40 minutes. He comes, I said, how long is it going to take to measure? Because it's not long. Probably there for 15 minutes.
Okay.
So next up, they're making the windows.
Well, don't keep them waiting when they come to mount the windows.
I know, but see, here's what I want. I want Russ to have an app like Domino's Pizza,
a tracker.
Yeah, where it says like we're making your windows. Like they say, like your pizza's in the oven.
Yeah,
your pizza's out of the oven. Because this $9.99 thing.
You order Domino's a lot.
You know, every once in a while.
It's not bad.
Every once in a while.
The boys like it.
It's a great
not bad.
Next day. It's the best floor pizza. For some reason, the hand-tossed, if you leave it sitting out on the counter overnight in the box and come down the next day and just eat at room temperature, it's still great. I don't know what does that. It just, for some reason, it's just a good like survivor pizza.
That's safe to do.
I don't care.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
right.
I don't necessarily endorse it or I'm recommending it to you. It's something that I do. It's college floor pizza. So, and she's like, the window guy's here. I'm like, wait, I knew it wasn't Russ. I'm like, oh, okay. So now they're making the windows, custom making the windows. And that's what they'll do for you too. Russ comes out, he'll look at everything, and then the measurers come out, and then they make the windows at Chicago Window Guys. There's no subcontracted labor. The crew works for Russ. There's a price match guarantee too. So you're like, oh, I don't know about, because I hear all this stuff about buy one, get one free. It's all gimmicks. Russ will explain. He offers the best product, the best price, guaranteed. The number is 847-302-9171. You can look at all his 5-star reviews at chicagowindowguys.com. And if you are getting quotes, that's fine. Get quotes. Ask those other companies, who's installing my windows? They'll be like, I can't answer that. Because it's subcontracted labor. It's third party. They don't know who's installing your windows. Russ does. So as the weather starts to cool, and you know cool goes to cold real fast, if you want your room to keep that heat, you don't want to hear your furnace kicking on as often, get good windows. Call Chicago Window Guys. Call Russ. 847-302-9171. ChicagoWindowGuys.com. R.I.P. to a great one. Diane Keaton died at age 79. And while, of course, she is remembered for playing Kay in The Godfather, and that was really where the America got to know her, they don't make them like that one. You talk about a sui generis actor and personality. She won the Best Actress Oscar for Annie Hall, and much of Annie Hall is actually Diane Keaton. That's the cool thing. That yes, she was acting, but that character is in large part based on her personality and her style and the relationship that she had with Woody Allen. Now, I know I need to say this too. Woody Allen's problematic. Woody Allen is a creep. Okay, I know that. However, his movies were immensely important to me, and his sense of humor was immensely important to me, still is, even though, yeah, I know the guy's a creep. Diane Keaton wasn't just Annie Hall. She was also Sonia in Love and Death, the funniest movie ever made. She was Luna in Sleeper. She was Linda in Play It Again, Sam. She's had any number of other terrific roles and was just so well liked in Hollywood for being herself and being real. And this her sense of style that became so famous and set so many fashion trends in Annie Hall, that's how she dressed. And the fact that there was that found feminism in her use of a lot of men's clothing in how she dressed, that was it was effortless. It wasn't a put on. She didn't care. That's what she wore, what she liked. And she liked it because she thought it was cool and she thought she looked good, and she did. And she wasn't out there trying to play any games or be Instagram famous or whatever the equivalent was at the time. Hilarious actor, Diane Keaton, too. Though she's known for dramatic roles also. A brilliant sense of comic timing, and even down to slapstick, broad comedy, which if you haven't seen Love and Death, she is able to stand there in scenes with comic actors and play things big and broadly, and I think she steals the movie. I think she's the funniest aspect of what I think is for me, the funniest movie ever made. And obviously not everybody will appreciate a pastiche of Russian novels. But and that's not meant as an elitist comment. It is because I haven't read a lot of those Russian novels. But she's wonderful in that movie, and I feel bad because she had sort of this eternal youth and beauty to her, but a brilliant actor who was, and you can tell from some of the appreciations that are coming out from many of the other great stars with whom she worked. R.I.P. to a pretty important actor that has been there at various stages of my life.
Yeah, a lot of fantastic movies that she was been in. Certainly things that aren't award winning, but some of my favorite, most entertaining films. Jack Nicholson with Something's Gotta Give, which I just thought she was great. She plays the mom, the matriarch in The Family Stone, which is a Christmas movie that we watch every year around the holidays. Just great. Father of the Bride, obviously, with Steve Martin. You know what? She was a really good looking older woman too.
She's a good looking younger woman.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's not hard to do when you're young.
Yeah.
It's hard to do when you're older. And she was great. She was great. And yeah, Natalie texted me when I was at the football fields, and she texted me that Diane Keaton died, and I felt bad about it. It was she really is good. She really was a great actor, and she was one of those actors that if I saw that she was in a film, I'm gonna watch it regardless of what it was.
And that is Dan Bernstein Unfiltered for this Monday. Big day for us. Don't forget, tune into Forward Progress for all of your Bears stuff, both before the game and, importantly, after the game. Right after the game, we're going to be on Come Be a Part of It. Come hang out. Come either celebrate or commiserate with Forward Progress, our live YouTube tonight.
Dan Bernstein Unfiltered on 312 Sports.